The man and the musician in him had layers upon layers that I had never stopped to notice before, and now that I knew that the reality of him so surpassed the fantasy of him, I could feel myself falling into a place I had no intention of going. Everything he did with an intensity and focus that I had never realized he possessed. He was driven and apparently very much in demand. His phone rang at all hours of the day and night, and he was always running off to set this or that show up, or handle this or that crisis for a band. There was something going on with his own band that had him keyed up and on edge. He didn't want to talk about it, but from what I had pieced together, the other guys wanted him to get on board with some kind of tour, and they were annoyed that he just wouldn't agree. There were also the calls that left him moody and surly for hours on end, and when I asked about those, he would just shrug and change the subject. Since I wasn't ready to have him pull apart my past, I figured it was best to just let it go. Only it hurt to see the way he struggled with whatever was going on. It also shocked me how much I wanted to be able to help him. Then there was the fact that he sang to me every night. I don't know how I was supposed to stop myself from completely falling in love with him, to stop myself from building dreams of something more with him, when every night I fell asleep to that amazing voice lulling me with songs about love and loss. For a guy with a giant tattoo of death on his chest and devil horns spiked into his ears, he sure knew a lot of old country songs and Southern folk songs. Some nights it was Johnny Cash and Patsy Cline. Other nights it was Hank Williams Sr. and Waylon Jennings. I didn't really like older country, but there was no denying when Jet sang it to me, I could see the difference in the quality of the songwriting compared to what I typically listened to. I also knew that despite all my best intentions, there was quickly becoming no other place that I wanted to be than in his arms. It reminded me of being little and thinking that it was so sad that my mom never sang us lullabies when she put us to bed. All good Southern moms sang to their kids. It was just one more thing that I had missed out on and had found in this new life I'd built for myself. I was trying to remember if I'd finished my homework and if I had grabbed my uniform for work when I came to a grinding halt. At the base of the stairs that led to the science building stood two familiar figures, and my stomach dropped all the way to my toes. Adam was nodding his head enthusiastically, and the familiar blonde was using his hands to dramatically gesture, making Adam throw back his head and laugh. It wasn't good that Asa was here, and it was even worse that he had somehow picked out Adam as someone tied to me. I narrowed my eyes at my brother when he turned around and caught sight of me. He grinned and showed all his teeth, and I immediately knew he was up to something. This was his good old boy act, and it was designed to be charming and beguiling while he robbed his victim blind or left a path of destruction in his wake. "What are you doing here?" I tried not to flinch when he wrapped an arm around me and gave me what was supposed to be a brotherly hug. I knew Asa, and this was his way of warning me to play along, or there would be consequences. "Well, you've been so busy with school, work, and all your friends. I figured I would just come see where my baby sister's spending all her time. I ran into this here fella, and he mentioned you guys were pretty close. I told him it was good that you had a gentleman keeping an eye on you, that you deserve only the best." I glared at him out of the corner of my eye and dug my elbow into his ribs until he let me go. "I told you I was busy. I don't have time to entertain you." I stared at him until he was forced to look away. I didn't want him here, and whatever he thought he was doing with Adam was stopping right now. "I'm already late for class. We can touch base later." I wanted Asa on the first plane back to Kentucky. Adam touched my arm lightly and gave me his typically friendly grin. "I have some free time. I can show your brother around campus while you're in class, if you want." Oh, hell no. That was the last thing I wanted. Adam was too nice of a guy to be left alone with Asa. My brother was working some kind of angle, and I needed to figure out what it was. "No, that's okay." I said it at the same time Asa chirped, "That'll be great." We glared at each other out of matching amber eyes. Before, all I had ever wanted was for Asa to protect me and to take care of me because we were family. I wanted him to see and appreciate the sacrifices made for him. It was only now that I understood that blood didn't make family and that sacrifice didn't matter. I had made bad decision after bad decision time